Dumpster diving. Yes, dumpster diving. Somebody asked me, what all do I believe in the area of am I for or against certain practices? And my answer to that was, in fact, what don't I believe in? I think I think everyone who holds, very specific, specialized interests should be allowed to believe in that. Like, who am I to say that if you like to jump in the dumpster and collect all type of junk, as some people will call it, who am I to say that that's in fact wrong? That's not my place. Once again, my place is to say, have it a go. Because you never know what you might actually find in the dump. Yes, you never know. I've seen videos of all types of people finding, man, computers. I'm telling you, they find all type of stuff. Stereos and speakers and toys. Just all type of, I seen a lady, she found an iPod. I think it was the real tiny iPods that it doesn't really have a face. It's just the circle with the selection buttons on it. I think it's like an iPod mini. It was real small, but still somebody can use that. Like, I found out that one of the best times that you could ever go dumpster diving is like around Christmas time. That's usually during the time that when everybody is throwing away all the stuff that they don't want. They take their previous items and gadgets and throw it straight to the trash. Yes, they do, because Americans here a lot of times in America, I can't really say I because I hate wasting stuff, but Americans are known to be highly wasteful. So even in the area of with the cell phones, you buy a phone this year, you keep that phone until say like next year, and then you're buying a new phone. And yet that old phone you just bought, instead of like sending it back to, manufacturer, or sending it back to the corporation or company that released those phones and sell them, instead of sending your old phone back so that they can use that phone for something instead, many Americans a lot of times just throw stuff away. Yeah, America is known as the land and population of greed as well as the throwaway. But yeah, as I said before, Christmas time, I seen a girl. I'm trying to think what video was that. I seen where somebody had threw away, was it a cello? I know it was a musical instrument. It was a musical instrument. When I seen this video, this had to be like 2 years ago. I seen where they threw away. It looked like it was like a cello or something like that, and they threw it out to the dump right around Christmas time. And so one of the dumpster divers that I was watching on right here on YouTube, they pulled the instrument out of its holder compartment, and they was like pulling out the different pieces that go along with the cello or whatnot. So basically, whoever owned and had this cello in their possession, they put everything that goes with the cello in this box or whatnot and just threw it out. So the cello still looked like it was brand new. It was just one piece on it that was damaged, that all you had to do was take it to a musician shop and have it repaired. But the person that was recording the video was kind of in shock, because they're like, man, you can tell this cello is like really brand new. Like, usually somebody, when they play, certain things like classical and music, usually they keep that type of stuff as vintage. They keep it for years, although it's damaged. Like that guitar that I showed you, when I was playing it, 2 or 3 strings broke off of it, just plucked off and broke off. And the guitar is still sitting there, but I'm not going to ever get rid of that guitar, because that guitar is from my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Well, my teenhood years. So why would I want to get rid of something like that that serves in the area of memories? that's a must have and a must keep, because although I'm not a full-blown musician in the area of getting on stage with it, that still is a part of me. That guitar is still a part of me. So I don't know what was the point and position of that person throwing away their cello, but I think what they should have did instead of throwing it away, everybody has their own personal preference of what they want to do with things. I feel instead of them throwing it away, I feel they should have gave it to either a pawn shop. They would have got a few dollars back. Or even if they didn't want to really get dollars back, they could have gave it to the pawn shop, and the pawn shop, they would have had somebody repair it. Or what they could have did is they could have dropped it off at a place, like I said, a music shop, because within the doors, behind the scenes of that music shop on the other side, in the back, there's usually a handyman that actually repairs instruments like that. Yes, it is. Usually at all music shops, there's usually somebody that can repair an instrument like that. So I felt that was like, all I can say about that is, in the area of Americans being highly wasteful, I didn't like seeing that on video, because it shows there was no appreciation there for the cello in the first place. Like, yes, I understand that, a lot of instruments are being replaced with musical devices such as synthesizers, which hold all the instruments that you can think of in electrical form. But still, something like that, to throw a cello like that, is to say that you don't appreciate the treasure for what it was. You don't. Because, like I say, music like Bach and Beethoven, where you orchestration and stuff like that, that type of music is still going on, meaning it's not dying out, although jazz is dying out. Those two genres is a whole different, they're different from each other, and yet jazz in fact borrow from classical music. So yeah, I didn't like that. Some stuff that people throw away, I feel like those are items to be treasured. So the best way to deal with them is to give them away, donate them. Give them to a secondhand store or something like that if you don't want them, because there's people out here walking around right now that have goals and dreams that can't afford some of this stuff that's being thrown out in the trash. And they would love to have something like a cello or an oboe or anything of that. It's grown men in their 40s and 50s that want those type of instruments, and yet they can't afford them. And yet if they go to if they go to a secondhand store where a handyman has repaired something like that, they can meet their dream just by you just donating. And then even with like childhood toys, because children a lot of times they can be very wasteful, and that comes from their parents putting them in the habit of constantly buying stuff month after month after month. So when something comes in, something else goes out, as in being thrown away. And in the area of that, I feel like many of those toys, you have to make sure when you pull toys for kids, when you pull it out of the dump like that, first of all, you have to make sure the toys are not cracked where they can literally pierce a child's skin and cause damage or inflammation. You want to make sure that the toys are like not damaged, and you also want to make sure they're not recall items. I just saw a video last night of a woman that had pulled out, it was a car seat for an infant, brand new. It's still, it was completely brand new. It was all black, silver, and white. And she pulled it out the dump, and it was brand new. She said she was going to donate it to her friend because her friend was pregnant, so they'll probably just clean it and wash it down. And then she opened up something else. It was like I want to say compartment. I don't know why I want to keep saying compartment, but it was like a bin that was next to it. It had baby clothes in it, infant clothes that still had the tags on them, brand new infant clothes that still had the tag on them. Like, why would you throw something out like that? That type of stuff could be used, donated. Like, do you know how many homeless women are walking around right now who has their babies, and they're walking around, walking the streets. They don't have food and clothes. That type of stuff can be put to use. That's what I'm trying to say. Any of the stuff that is in these dumps, in these city dumps, or even put in the back out in the alley for the trash man to come pick up, that type of stuff can be donated to shelters. You just clean it real good, bleach it down real good, and then give it to the shelters, because even the shelters a lot of times need donations. So what is one man's junk is another man's treasure. Yes, it is. That's what to be said about that. Yeah, so I had wrote down some notes a little bit, because when I said my memory lane, just to make sure that I pinpointed each thing that I wanted to say, because I had to take care of some stuff earlier, and then I took like a nap for an hour. So, when you usually pick a topic, you want to make sure you don't forget what you say, because I'm not editing and all that other stuff, and putting stuff up so you can see it. So, got to make sure I have my notes. I think that's basically it. That's for anybody who holds the interest of dumpster diving. Yeah, so like I said before, I've seen various interesting things go on. People that dumpster dive, meaning climbing in the trash, they go all the way in. They have face masks on, and that's usually to protect, because remember, to go into a dumpster is to see all type of bacteria and all that. So many of them I've seen where people put on rubber type of clothes that you see scientists when they're going out in fields to do work and stuff like that. They'll have on the trousers and they're made of rubber, or they'll have on the jacket and it's made of rubber, and they close it with Velcro, right? So that they can, investigate. So it's the same with these dumpster divers. I haven't really, you do have different ones. When they're climbing in, it's different to be a dumpster diver and you just picking up stuff from the outside of a big trash bin that the city come pick up. That's different than actually climbing inside of one. You don't know what you might meet on the inside. People have met all type of animals climbing into a huge dumpster. Some people have met raccoons. I seen a video of that where a guy was climbing in and a raccoon came flying out. That actually happened to me too, where I wasn't going to climb in the dumpster, but one late night I was going to walk up to put trash in a dumpster, and something came flying out. I was like, oh no. But yeah, dumpster diving, I believe in that. Like, in the art form. Usually police officers, I think in certain states that's like against the law, because to go in someone's dumpster and grab something, in a sense, I'm thinking the reason why it would probably be illegal is because it poses liability issues, maybe. If I was to go in somebody's backyard and there's an alley behind that backyard, and I start pulling certain stuff out, say there's glass or something, and I cut my hand open, not knowing that the glass is there, you literally have some people that will take it upon themselves to go in somebody else's garbage, pull something out, get injured, and then try to blame that homeowner. And yet, they climbed into the garbage by choice. The homeowner had nothing to do with it. So that's the thing that I think was probably why police officers oftentimes, when you see dumpster diving going on, when you see dumpster divers actually going in garbage bins and stuff like that, I think that's why the police officers chase them away. It has to be. What other reason? Because to go in somebody else's garbage is to pose issues, and not only that, that can pose problems in the area of the health department, because see, you're messing with waste that usually is being taken to the city dump. Once a dump truck come and get it, And so the health department is all about cleanliness. That's why if you're a homeowner and stuff like that, that's why you can't just have garbage from within the four walls of your house and just leave that garbage all laying all across out on your front lawn or on your back lawn or on your backyard or all out in the street. The health department does not like stuff like that. That poses health issues because to leave garbage like that is to draw wild animals. And a person can literally be killed by a wild animal. Yes, they can. So I think for police, that's what that has something to do with. There's two things when I see police officers chasing dumpster divers away. I'm thinking it has to be because you can get injured, going through someone's trash. You never know what awaits you in there. It could be a wild animal. Anything could be in that they have rabies or something and they put you in harm's way. And not only that, that whole health issue with the health department, because you don't want to, you got to be really careful when you go in somebody's trash. I think that's basically it. All I have to say about that. But would I ever dumpster dive? Would you ever dumpster dive? What do you think is the benefit of dumpster diving? What do you think is a downfall of dumpster diving? Do you think that you put yourself in harm's way going in other people's trash or other people's dumpsters? With me, I've said what I feel about it, my own thoughts. You got to remember, all around us, in the area of though people put themselves in harm's way going in people's garbage, you have to always remember that all around the globe there's poverty. All amongst us there's poverty, and there's people that don't have the resources to gain certain things that is needed. I mean, even certain things that are want. Some of these people that are in poverty, they don't have two nickels to rub together. And sometimes even them want to give their family members gifts, but they don't have it. You got people that are real poor that they can't really celebrate Christmas. Now, I myself, I don't celebrate Christmas just because to me it feels like another day. But you got really poor people that you have many people that's poor that they didn't really ask for those conditions. They was brought up born into those conditions. So their mindset really doesn't know any other way. And who's to say that they're supposed to be living something else? Because remember, God or the universe or whoever works in all type of mysterious ways. So sometimes you just don't ever know in life what type of situation you're going to be in. But to want to celebrate Christmas and yet not have the financial resources to be able to do such is to receive a donation from somebody outside of yourself. And those donations can be by ways of those who go into the garbage, find brand new computers and stuff like that that have been thrown out, and brand new headphones by Beats by Dre. I've seen stuff like that where you see a fresh new pair of Beats by Dre headphones in the garbage that is on its way to the city dump. And yet there's nothing wrong with these headphones. The headphones are not shorted out and everything. What I like about dumpster diving, people that record it, is that oftentimes you have the ones that they go home and they plug this stuff up and they see if it work, and they'll test it out for a few hours just to see what drops out or what happens. And it shows you that the stuff is brand new. The people just didn't want it. So yeah, I feel like many poor people could use those items. They can use those items because consider some of the parents that they go to work and they work hard every day, and their kids, they come home, they work hard just enough to pay their bills. They work hard just enough to get by. And yet their kids want things, stuff that they see other people have, other kids have that go to school. And yet they're so poor they can't even afford stuff like that. For a mother to say, oh, my kid, seen headphones that looked at like Beats by Dre and wanted those headphones, but they weren't Beat by Dre headphones. They were probably cheap $25 headphones that they saw at Target. And yet the mother just felt bad in her heart that she couldn't afford them. And then all of a sudden here comes somebody that is a dumpster diver, that found some Beats by Dre, the actual Beats by Dre headphones, and tested them out and gave it to that mother as a donation for her child, to make her child happy. And the smile that was placed on that child's face, because instead of giving the actual knockoff headphones, that child got the actual real deal. See what I'm saying? Stuff like that can really like inspire people and make their day. You know, yeah, it came from the trash, but it took work in even putting devices like that together, like in a Beats by Dre type of headphones, or even if somebody threw, because you find MacBooks too thrown out in the trash. And that was another reason why Steve Jobs had the attitude that he had when it came to consumers returning their products for them to be fixed, you know, by the manufacturer, because he knew that some of these, you know, consumers were not really appreciative of the product, the Apple product that they were building. And so you got people out here that they purposely damage their stuff. You know, just I've seen people take their cell phones, $400, $500 cell phones, and throw it at a wall. Or get mad at somebody and take their cell phone and throw it on the sidewalk. I've seen stuff like that. And then after they get over their anger, what they'll do is they'll take those products and send it back to a place like a manufacturer over at Apple and want those people to repair the item. And you know how Apple is. Yes, you know how Apple is. They're the type of people, they can tell. Apple is like almost like the CIA. Yes, they are, because they're the type of people, they can look at a product, whether it's a MacBook or a iPhone, and they can see the damage of that product, and they can scope as far as to seeing why that product is damaged like that and how it's been damaged like that. So when Steve Jobs had the issue of, you know, I'm at the point of not wanting to repair various consumers' products, because he could tell that many of these people were throwing their iPhone out of anger. Trust and believe, when you see, if a person like Steve Jobs, God rest his soul, if a person can you know, be over there working at Apple and seeing these devices be sent back where the cell phone face is so smashed up it looked like a hammer been took to it, that shows there was no care and appreciation by the consumer. And why should a place like Apple actually take a return device that has been smashed up like that? That does not make logical sense. If you didn't want the phone, you should have never bought it. You just don't take a phone and take a hammer to it and say, okay, I'm going to send it back to Apple to repair it because I still got it under warranty. Like that's illogical thinking. That doesn't even fit the program in itself, in the area of I'm tired of talking about it. So let's turn the channel. But yes, if you don't want an iPhone like that, donate it to somewhere or something. Give it to somebody that can put it to good use. I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to buy me all type of electrical devices because, like as I said before, his degree was in electrical engineering. So he always wanted to keep me up to date on electrical devices. I mean, I've had computers and everything, yes, as a child. These were like little handheld computers that they taught sciences to me and everything. But he used to, his best saying was always, if you take care of your stuff will take care of you. And the strange thing was, the other night when I was on YouTube going through some different videos, a video popped up that had said the same thing. I think it was a car video, like a repair shop. It was something like that. And in the video, the commercial was, or the advertisement on there said, if you take care of such and such, it will take care of you. I was like, that reminds me of my dad. But yeah, that's the truth. When you have nice things, you should want to take care of those nice things because they will last. Some stuff lasts a lifetime. Many devices that I've had, I never got rid of or thrown away because they're still lasting today. And yet I got them in bins just in case I need them. And there's been various people who have actually asked me for those devices, and I said no, because a lot of times the average person, they don't take care of stuff in the area of taking care of it to the point that it will last as long as the stuff that I have lasts. This stuff will probably last until I'm like dead and gone. I'm saying in the end, I probably would have to give it to somebody or donate it or something before I die out, but products can last. Now, today's stuff, as I said before, did I not say this? Another reason why people get rid of stuff is because the products that we have here in America are not being built and durable as they used to be. Products back in the day used to be made of that real hard metal, but now a lot of our stuff come from China, and it's cheaply made because to have to you know, to be a corporation and want to spend less money in the area of paying workers and stuff like that, and to pay less money to have people build stuff for you, is to receive it and it's cheaply made. So a lot of times it can break easily, and that's why many of our products are not lasting coming from places like China, is because they break easy. And so to have something break so easy, instead of sending it back, especially if it's out of warranty, is to just throw it away. But once again, I still feel, instead of throwing it away, donate it. Donate it somewhere, to even to a repair shop. Repair shops that are open enough to that they actually repair electrical devices. I'm speaking on repair shops outside of music shops, because there was one place that I took one of my camcorders years back to repair, but I paid for it, and then of course I took the camcorder back home. But you do have people that work at computer shops that, if you don't want to pay them and then take the product back home for yourself, and you just want to get rid of it and get it off your hands, you can actually take damaged computers to computer shops where they repair computers, and they'll repair it and they'll keep it themselves. Yes, they will. I had to tell my mom that and a few other people. Instead of just taking a whole computer that has a damaged hard drive, and yet the computer is still brand new, but one day the hard drive just clonked out, take that computer over to a computer shop, give it to them, let them take the hard drive out, put a new hard drive in, and they'll keep it. Some of them will more than likely give it to their own kids, because remember, to own a laptop or something like that is to have a child that needs to do their schoolwork and homework on that same device. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else. We have a computer here, a desktop that we had for like years and years, and nothing's wrong with it. It just needs, I think, like a fan or something. But that's simple. Once you get it to the computer shop, they'll just take that whole piece out that needs to be repaired and put a whole fresh new piece in it, and then they might use that computer for work. These type of things can be used even in the repair shops. They use devices a lot of times that you don't want. Yes, they do. They'll take whatever needs to be repaired, remove it out, and they'll put it right in the office where they work. Yes, they will. Yes, even if you have a fan, a home fan, that say something is wrong with the fan where it won't keep up speed, or you turn it on and you turn it up high and say it keeps slowing down, you have electrical repair shops that will literally replace that whole knob as well as the motor in relation to that, and then now they have a brand new fan. More than likely they'll put that fan in their office space and call it a day. Gotta remember, gotta think smart, because for them, they probably feel it might cut the cost too. If you own an office space and you repair something that was a throwaway item and you put it in your office, that probably can actually cut down on, say, you buying something brand new, because remember, you're surrounded by the parts anyway. And not only that, when you're surrounded by the parts, instead of you just buying a new fan, the parts can be a write-off in the area of taxes. You know, your taxes and your tax return and the IRS and all that. Those products can actually be a write-off because they're being used and consumed for business purposes. Yes, even a fan. If you're sitting down in an office, you're in a business environment, especially if you own that place of work, that company. If you own it and you repair that fan, that's a tax write-off. It is. You got to think smart and wise. So, I think that is once again all to be said about the dumpster diving. But yes, I believe anything, that's the type of thing that you will fit into like a hippie type of thing. Hippie movement. Hippies will take it upon themselves to put trash to work by using things more for what they're supposed to be used for. You know, sometimes too much trash can be actually harmful towards the environment because it poses an issue in relation to what some might say, am I getting this right? The greenhouse effect? No, I might be getting that wrong. Global warming, greenhouse effect, all that. Sometimes waste product pose an issue. I wish this hair would move out my face. A lot of that trash poses a issue in the area of landfills. Yes, it does, because to have waste just sit in the landfill leads to greenhouse gases going up and polluting the earth. Just overall. Because, and not only that, it's toxic because it's man-made gases. It's not like this garbage is natural garbage from the earth. Because see, if this stove that sits behind me, if I trash this and it sits out, you know, out in the landfill for somewhere for like a year or something like that, this stove was built by a man, so it's man-made. So the gases that come up off of this stove is man-made gases. That's a high toxic pollutant is what that is. So yeah, we here in America, we need to get rid of, you know, the greed. And even when a lot of times here in America, I've seen a lot of these hills, you know, if you're riding along on the side of the highway and stuff like that, you can see that those are actual landfills. Like, you'll see hills is what I'm trying to say. You'll see these big old hills that look completely unnatural, and they are in fact unnatural because that's landfilled area. All they did was, you know, pull up the soil, pack that garbage underneath it, and put dirt and everything on top of it, you know, and place seeds so that grass can grow on top of it, and there you have a brand new hill. And yet underneath that is all waste product because we're actually running out of areas to place this garbage and this filth in connection to landfills. So a lot of these highways on the side of the road, once again, they're off on the side, you know, not on the near where the emergency exit is. If you go and you take a walk, you'll see like these big hills and all that. That's what I'm speaking on when I say, you know, man-made landfills. To run out of area of where to place waste is to show and tell that we have too much garbage going on. And that's what happened when population grows. To have a massive population is to know that carries waste. That's why New York as a whole, the state in New York City, that's why they have such a rat issue in the area of trash. See, because they have too many people in the area of population and being overpopulated, is to draw mice and stuff because people are not getting rid of their trash in the proper way that they should be disposing of it. Got people that walk around outside, be eating a hot dog, instead of properly putting that trash in a garbage bin, they just drop it on the ground. And that draws all type of rodents and everything else. And not only that, that's pollution in itself, because that's gases in itself, because to drop food that hasn't been fully eaten, to just throw it out, you know, on somebody's front lawn, is to know that that food too has to deteriorate. And as it is, the gases from that food is going up into the air. So yeah, we're causing a lot of pollution issues with all that. And I said hippie because this is one of the topics that hippies that they speak on. And I think this is one of the topics that Bill Gates spoke on. I think he's really big on, pollution and getting rid of waste in a proper manner so it doesn't kill us off as a whole. I don't know. I don't fully fit in with hippies, but in some areas I do. Because I have thoughts like them. I might have to search many of them. I might have to see if there's hippie groups on Facebook and right here on YouTube. I like the hippie movement because it's more natural. Because as I said before, I'm a vegetarian. I can't consume meat, and not by choice. It's just that my body won't handle it. But years and years ago, I was a vegetarian. I spoke of that in one of my last videos. I think I'm going to make a video next about me not being able to eat meat products and how it makes me really, really sick. But I like hippies because the whole lifestyle is about freedom. Saying what's wrong with the world, trying to help solve those issues. Too, in the area of this whole landfill problem. To have too many landfills all around us is to know that pollution, you're sniffing it in. Yeah, even in the area of going green, where you got these cars, especially out in places like California where they deal with a lot of smog and stuff like that. That type of stuff has to be dealt with because chemicals like that has to be neutralized. Because a lot of that stuff is completely acid based. That stuff is almost like a acetone. Acetone? Is that how you say it? Acetone? Like that same type of chemical that you have in nail polish remover. That chemical can really get out of hand where it'll just start killing folks as they're sitting there. Because to have too many cars and trucks and all that sitting in one environment, and they're in the area of emission and emitting gases, that's toxic fume, that when you're going about your day-to-day work life, you're inhaling that and sniffing that in. That poses a problem. That's a problem in itself. And that could be another reason why too, California, they might actually, who knows, I might have to find the numbers and the data on this, if they have a more higher cancer rate. I need to, that's another reason why I made this video. See, sometimes I make videos not to just show my face and say hello to other YouTubers, but sometimes, and not only for awareness, but sometimes I make these videos just so that I can rewind back in the area where I didn't write all this down, so that I can research it. See, to make a video about something that you're speaking on, and yet you don't know the complete numbers on it, is to go look it up. After I record my videos, I usually rewatch them so that I can Google extra information to find out. But California, when they said the smog issue, that's been going on since the beginning of time, and yet that pollution has me in deep question of emission in relation to that car, or all the cars. And how hippies, when they bring up, that's a good thing they bring that up about going green to reduce that. But I'm still in question of, does California have a higher cancer rate than any other state? Because remember, they're highly populated completely out west. And as they're highly populated, that exposes them to more trash. That exposes them to more diseases, as well as that exposes them to more landfills and the fumes of the cars. So to be living amongst all that in a highly overpopulated, overvolume, with waste laden environment, is to know cancer stands there, and it has to. I gotta look that up. I think cancer stands there. And maybe many Californians don't know this. Or maybe they do. I don't know. I'm gonna look into this. But yeah, Dumpster diving and waste. How can we go about cutting down on these waste products? How can we do it? What can we do? There's all type of unconventional ways in the area of getting rid of waste and all that. To help a problem is to rid the problem and find out the definition and the cause of that problem. Yes, it is. So, dumpster diving, why?